Brides in the Hills 1. Cool. After passing through the gate of Simbavi Baramai Heged's large chokamane, his slave, Holiara's dog, was standing on the steps of the outer courtyard, staring wide-eyed at the sky. Marati Manjanu, a housekeeper, who was coming very slowly from the ground beside the house, holding a bunch of banana leaves in one hand and a bunch of banana leaves in the other hand, came closer. What, are you standing looking at Guttamagilla? Dora, are you doing well? Even though it was stronger than the fog, Gutti Muggle, who was very short in height, looked at the face together and said, I was looking to see if it had stopped raining or something, and hurriedly asked, did the rain dry up? He asked. Tell me where you want to go. Huh? Manjanu said, looking at Mugilla with the nerves on his neck showing. Kano to Lakanda. What's going on? I went to a place. Even Manja was not able to say, huh. Meanwhile inside the house, a woman's mouth was heard loudly from the backside. Gutti raised an eyebrow in surprise. Is that something? He said. Manja, not at all surprised, said to himself in an indifferent voice, there is no happiness from Suravetapa again. Marotu jala jala jala, jala, jatama lakama lakama jatama, ne munda, ne rand, you will do kala by Nanago, HWA. Gutti looked into Manja's eyes and opened his mouth to ask for some secret. Manja was walking up the stairs to enter the house, holding up both the skulls, which were like thick bamboo puppets spread from waist to waist. Kapetu Kano, I must fly away, said Gutti, flapping his short legs and walking towards the garden. Until he crossed the garden, he could hear the noise of the quarrel going on in the house. Gutti or Gutti had lied that he had gone to Lakanda with Manjan. He had to go to Lakanda itself, but that was not the purpose of his journey. He was in no hurry to get to Lakanda, which was about 3 or 4 miles from Simbavi. Even though we had to climb and cross the high Situo hill full of footpaths on the way, Gutti was not afraid. He is such an iron man. Another thing is his clothes. As soon as Manja saw him, he said, you are well dressed, because of the change in his dress, the Motu Panchavina battle on his waist, and before the Maratia, who was naked, even though the pool was all-pervading, Holia was sad. He wore a red cloth on his head. He was wearing a dirty shirt. The tip of the punch crossed the shin. Another lonely ear. Even though the singles were not new, they had a new charm with a new guise. Even though his face was shaven, he looked like a Malay. The blanket folded over his shoulders indicated that he was ready for the rain, and the black stick of bagani wood in his arms indicated that he was ready for a fight. When Gutti Situ first started to climb the hill, the Mugilagapu was covered with Begugapi and started to see the glitter of fireflies. The cry of beetles was deafening. Although it was the beginning of the rainy season, the wild conditions of Simbavi, Sita and Lakanda, where Malagadu was terrible, had also started with the yam forest. Gutti was standing here and there, picking off the candies he saw with his feet, and in the same hand, he took out a leaf of lime smoke from his pocket and put it in his mouth. Flapping his little legs, he came forward in the forest path of Situo Hill. Darkness was coming and getting worse. The buzzing of the beetles became horrifying. Neither the path he was walking on, nor his legs, nor the scaly bits that were sucking his scalp, could be seen. Gutti was stepping on the estimate. The Rudra Prakriti of that terrible mountain forest of the seasons, which looked terrible to the civilians, was familiar to him from long familiarity. He too was a part of that nature, a part of it like a rock in a hill, like a tree in a forest. There was another reason why Gutti was setting his foot regardless of anything. There was another reason why Gutti was setting his foot regardless of anything. His mind was not versatile. One time Simbavi Heged's old man would put his hand on his waist and touch the note given to the old man of Heged, and another time he would brush his neatly trimmed moustache, and once again he would verbalize the struggle that was going on in his mind. If I don't fly her this time, I'm not the man our father gave birth to, he said with a contemptuous snort. Gutti was startled, completely extroverted, waving his stick and yelling, "Hadididit." The animal squealed in the worm. Gutti loudly said, "This fox will destroy his house." He walked briskly, fear was not evident in that walk. This fox is not happy. Even though he said that, his words were not like mind. If instead of tiger, it means fox, if a tiger is called a fox, this man will be afraid of seeing himself as a fox. Brides in the Hills 2 will continue.